And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here with you this morning, visiting with Devin Jordan, who has founded a new organization, new effort called Beyond the Game. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great, and thanks for being here. Devin, first of all, tell us about you. We need to get to know you better.
Well, yes. I actually, right now, I'm the wide receivers coach at Walsh University. Been there for about 4 years now. I went to high school at Massillon, Washington High School. Graduated there in 2003. Went down to Ohio State as a student athlete on the football team. Was able to get a scholarship. Was able to get my degree. In the process of getting that degree, I was hoping to make waves and go on to the NFL, but on my second year in college, I got hurt, ran into some injuries. So my football playing career was over, but I was able to continue to get my degree and pursue, a career after college. So kind of got into coaching, and that's where it led me to Walsh University right now.
Mm-hmm. While you were still down at the Ohio State University, you did some work with the athletes there as well, right?
Yes.
Talk about that a bit.
Yeah, like I said, I had hopes and dreams of going on to the NFL, but once I got hurt, I transitioned into being a coach. So I was able to mentor some of the younger guys that were on the team, and really got my niche of really just helping others. And kind of fell in love with it. Wasn't expecting it going into college, but that's kind of what college is for. You kind of develop things you didn't really know were possible. So really found a love and giving back to others and really helping others through the game of football.
How difficult was that for you? We hear so much about athletes who do go into the NFL, and right now as we're recording this, we're all getting into Hall of Fame week.
Yes.
And getting to see the guys. This was their life. And then they have a terribly hard time transitioning into doing something else when that original dream is not there anymore. How difficult was that for you?
It was very difficult at first, but I had a really good support system. And the interesting thing about me is I had a strong background in my education and my faith. So once everything as far as football fell apart, I still had a strong foundation of my faith and my education. So I had a good support system to help me understand that, and which would help me propel me forward in life and not be so stuck in the, hey, I'm not playing football anymore, but there's also life after just playing football. So even me coaching football, I'm so involved with football. Right. And sometimes to a certain degree, it's actually more rewarding to see others, succeed through what you have taught them through football than for you to succeed yourself. So it's actually been very, very interesting and very humbling to kind of experience being a coach now.
In this town, football is not just a game. It is, it's kind of a microcosm of life, isn't it? Do you find that as you're helping develop young men at Walsh?
Absolutely. I think everything that you can learn on the football field, to a certain degree, it kind of prepares you for, life outside of the lines, I guess you would say. And, as far as, coming together as a team, it's funny, we see so many different athletes come in their freshman year and from different parts of the state or the country and don't know too much about certain cultures, and all of a sudden you mix them all in the same room, and all of a sudden they learn so much from each other, and they learn how to get together. And as a nation right now, that's what we kind of need to kind of come together. And I think when you see that as far as athletes coming together, it's a very amazing thing.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the young men you're getting to work with at Walsh University. How worried should the rest of NCAA Division II be?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of good incoming freshmen this year, and we got some transfers coming in. And the biggest thing is, like I said, just building that team chemistry. And once you kind of build that, everything kind of sets itself in place. And we're kind of building ourselves a program at Walsh. Being in Division II only about 3 years, still trying to catch up to everyone else. But we're coming along, and being a city in Canton, we're a big football town, and we got some support around us, and we're just hoping to do big things here coming up this season.
Talk about Beyond the Game. What sparked this idea?
Really was, talking about, how I kind of got injured in college and hoping that I was going to the NFL. And so many kids nowadays that have those aspirations of, hey, I'm going pro. And, that's great. And, some people end up making it that way. But for the majority of us, a vast majority, we don't make it. And the biggest thing is to have an understanding that, hey, you can still have a great education, get a great education through sports. So many athletes go to college and they love to play the game of whatever they want to play, and but also they get the opportunity to pursue a degree and go professional in something other than sports. Now with me, I still deal with sports, but I'm not a professional athlete, but I'm a professional. I'm a professional coach.
Yes.
So like I said, at the end of the day, just trying to get as many kids involved of knowing that there's life after football, and there's so much out there than just playing sports, but you can still play the game that you love.
What's involved with Beyond the Game? Is this something that you gather? Is this almost like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or what would you compare it to?
Not necessarily. We really want to just engage as many kids as possible about education. Now we understand that sports, especially in this town, are very big, and we know kids have the aspirations to just do something outside of just school. They play sports, so and they found a love for their sport that they play. But just making sure that kids understand that, hey, there is a means to an end in any sport that you play. Whether you do go professional, someday that profession is going to end. So you could be 25 years old and your NFL career is over, and it's what's next. You could be a 32-year-old NBA player. What's next? So at the end of the day, you have to have some kind of background of a degree or some kind of specialization of something to help you prepare for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Who are you working with? Is it athletes only? Is it young men only?
No, it's not young men. Right now it is strictly athletes. But like I said, it's not. We want to help as many kids as we can. Not to say we won't help people that don't play sports, but we're using the education piece through sports. So what we're doing right now, we're trying to hold free youth camps or cheap youth camps going forward next year at Walsh University for multiple sports, male and female, from ages 6 to 14, to kind of help them engage in their sports, teach them about the fundamentals of their sport, and also teach them about the education, the importance of it. Give them a tour of Walsh University. And what we're also doing is for teenagers that are in high school going into their junior and senior year, we will give them funding to go visit any sports campus that they choose that goes along with any kind of sports camp that college might be running. So they can go on our website, gobeyondthegame.org, and apply for funding. You have to have at least 2.75 GPA or above and 4 hours of community service, or show some improvement in your GPA, and we will help get you recruited and get you out there to kind of see what colleges are about and help you get recruited that way.
Are you finding that you are putting college on the radar of young people who really hadn't been considering it before?
Absolutely. We actually had our first camp. It was the Football Fundamentals Camp at Walsh about a month ago, and we had about 47 kids that are between the ages of 6 and 14. And before we took our college tour on the last day, I asked, hey, how many of you guys have taken a college tour? Only 4 of them raised their hands. So we had 43 kids that from the ages of 6 to 14 take their first college tour at a young age, and now they're like, man, this is great. This is good to walk around and see, just get that in their head as young as possible, just to see a nice campus as Walsh is, and hopefully going forward they can visit as many college campuses as possible, just to get there in their head, hey, this is something I want to do when I get older.
Yeah, tell us about them. Now that you've had your first one, highlights of that time.
Very good highlights. I mean, just to have so many guys that played from this area, guys that played at Ohio State or NFL levels, that get kids engaged in those guys, and have those guys understand that hey, this guy played in the NFL, but he's here teaching me about education. And so now when we hear the messages from guys that have been professionals or guys that have played major college football, kids start to resonate in their head, hey, man, education is a big deal. This has come from guys like Reggie Corner, Devon Torrens, guys that have played in the NFL or at Ohio State, and they're hearing that message from these guys, and it's like, man, maybe the education is a big deal. So that was really a big highlight, and just to hear some of the parents, rave about how we were running our camp and how engaged we were with the kids. And like I said, the big deal was the college tour at the end. I mean, that's a big deal to kind of, and that's what we want to teach our kids, and the value of, we call it Beyond the Game. We had the first couple of days of the camp, we run it football style, but then at the end of the day, at the end, we take the college tour. So it's Beyond the Game. We want the kids to understand, hey, it's about the education portion of what we're trying to teach you.
And starting to think about, what else would you like to do? There might be, and maybe it's plan B to us, but maybe we're just finding out, oh, maybe this is what God had in mind for my life all along.
Yeah, definitely. I always felt I wanted to do more. Being a college coach, I impact a lot of kids on my campus. Obviously with the football team, but I impact a lot of kids that don't play football. And the more I thought about it, I just wanted to reach out to as many kids as possible and do more. With America's youth, they have to be, guided into the right direction, and some people don't have that guidance. So maybe I can be a voice or help other people be a voice to reach out to today's youth to help them guide, into the right direction of education. And what we want to do is kind of reach out to, schools in the area, go in to read, to little kids, or go do motivational speeches to teams and people that need to hear certain messages from certain guys. So we'll be reaching out to some teams and some people that want to, have us come in and speak to them or their schools, and, do clothing drives for people that are less fortunate and things like that. So we want to do a lot. Obviously, we want to have a certain message about the education portion, and we want to hope people get behind us and want to support us, and that way we can fulfill our mission.
The education message is very important, as you say, as you have contact with young people around the community. What other messages do you find are really important to get into these young people's heads?
Really about, perseverance. I think a lot of times you run into that wall where you feel like you can't do it, or I have a hard road of how I want to get to my goals, and you hear so many different stories, and that's why we want to go and speak to kids, because sometimes my message about what I went through in college won't resonate with someone because they're not really going through that. But I might have someone that's involved in our organization go speak about their message, and that might resonate with a kid that wants to hear that message, because no matter what, everyone comes up and grows up a little differently. But just to kind of hear something that kind of keeps someone else going, that can kind of motivate them to that next level where they didn't think they can get through to that next level, that's what we want to kind of get to. So at the end of the day, we want as many kids to succeed at whatever they want to be in life. And like I said, the key portion that we're trying to teach is that education piece, to get that can propel you to many levels in life.
Beyond the Game is not just you speaking, although that would be awesome to have actually Devin Jordan himself come to your classroom, but who all is a member of the organization?
Right now, I'm the president of the organization. We have Matt Evans, who's our vice president. My mother is our secretary, and we have some other people that have been involved or who will be involved. Like I said, Reggie Corner helped with our camp, Devon Torrance, Steve Miller, who went to Camp McKinley on Ohio State a couple years back, Lester Sanders, who's a motivational speaker that's in the area, David Morgan, who actually is a teacher at Massillon. He's a motivational speaker. He's a writer. Wrote one of LeBron James's books and Jim Tressel's books. Obviously, we had Jim Tressel come to one of our events about a month ago and spoke. So we have a lot of people that will be involved, and sometimes with people that I know, they're only a phone call away. If I say, hey, can you come speak to this group of kids? And they'll say, hey, Devin, I'll come. So we want to reach out to as many kids in the community as possible to help as many people as want help in the community.
There's got to be a reason that you have no trouble getting these powerful people, very influential people, as part of this and get them on board with it. What do they say? What's the feedback you get from them after they've had an opportunity to interact with some of these young people?
I think God always has a message to send, through people, and I think the more people God puts you around, He puts you around for a reason. So, like Coach Tressel, for instance, while choosing my college, one of the biggest things for me was to have a coach that kind of helped me grow spiritually. And so when he came back, it was kind of like something he already naturally taught me, was to always give back. So, when you have a coach that preaches that or preached that at the time, now when I get older, I want to give back to people who have played for me or kind of give back to me. So it's kind of like a trickle down effect. You help someone, they're going to help someone, they're going to help someone, and that just revolves all the way down. So, but I know at our game that we had in July 15th, I had about 18 former Buckeyes come back, Troy Smith, Beanie Wells, and man, this is one of the best charity events that I've been to, and we're going to do it again next year, and hopefully we get a bigger turnout and just impact more lives and have more kids come and have a lot of fun. But like I said, just having the impact on people, I think when you treat people the right way, they want to get back to you and help you in what you're trying to accomplish. And I've done that for others, and they've done back to me.
And the response from the kids themselves and their parents has been?
Oh, it's phenomenal. And so many kids that came to our camp, they're like, hey, I'm coming back next year. I'm being some friends. And, I know some of our kids that came to our game, and they were taking pictures with Jim Tressel and Troy Smith, and they're sending pictures to their friends. Oh, I wish I was there. So it's kind of like one of those things where, hopefully we're getting the message out. And that's the most important thing is education. But we want to have, fun doing it. So hopefully next year when we do our events and more things are coming, that more kids will show up and more parents will show up, and we'll be able to impact more in the community.
Awesome. Well, we've got to take a break, but we're speaking with Devin Jordan. He is founder of Beyond the Game, also one of the coaches at Walsh University, so watch out there. And we'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.